Dear friends, we're standing here on top of Mount of Olives and viewing a magnificent view of Jerusalem from east to west. And the most obvious thing that can be seen here is this golden dome that is seen over there, known as the Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock is not a mosque, but nevertheless a very holy site for the Muslims, as it is the place from where, according to their tradition, their Prophet Muhammad ascended in his vision through the 7 levels of heaven so as to confer with God and other prophets. It also stands over the exact same place where the first and second temple stood, and where the third one will be with the coming of the Messiah. Another name for the Temple Mount is Mount Moriah, where Abraham was about to sacrifice his son Isaac to show his love for God. And it is a holy site to all 3 major monotheistical religions. But it is also very problematic, because as long as the Dome of the Rock is there, the temple cannot be built and the Messiah cannot come. And therefore it is the source and root of all our political, social, and religious problems in the country. And because it's a matter of religion, there is no right or wrong. What is right for you is not necessarily right for me. Left of the Dome of the Rock and behind it, we see 2 gray domes, a large and a small one. This is the rooftop of the Church of Holy Sepulchre. Church of Holy Sepulchre is, according to some Christian traditions, the place of crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. And in that church are the last 5 stations of the Via Dolorosa, the way of suffering. Left of the Church of Holy Sepulchre, we see a white steeple, that is the Lutheran Church of the Redeemer, one of 3 churches built by the German Chancellor Wilhelm II in 1897. He actually built here a Catholic church known as the Church of Dormition, a Lutheran church, the Church of the Redeemer, and he built a non-denominational Christian hospital called Augusta Victoria, named after his wife. And that way he ended up covering up all of his bases, ending up okay with Protestants, Catholics, and non-affiliated Christians. Left of that, and way closer to us, we see another gray dome and roof. This is the Mosque of El-Aqsa. El-Aqsa meaning in Arabic, corner of the universe. And tradition says Muhammad, in his vision, rode up from Mecca to here prior to ascending the 7 levels of heaven so as to confer with God and other prophets. Just slightly left of that, we see what looks like an archaeological excavation. These are the southern steps. אל-אקצה זה האפור הזה פה.
אוקיי, אז בוא תתחיל עוד פעם עם אל-אקצה.
Okay. We could also see over here the Mosque of El-Aqsa, another gray dome and roof. In the Mosque of El-Aqsa, the name El-Aqsa means in Arabic, corner of the universe. Tradition says Muhammad rode his horse from the holy place, meaning Mecca, to the corner of the universe, from where he ascended through the 7 levels of heaven so as to confer with God and other prophets. Left of the Mosque of El-Aqsa, what looks like an archaeological site, these are the southern steps. The southern steps being the entrance of all the pilgrims that ascended to Jerusalem. The priests would enter from one side, the locals of Jerusalem from another, and the pilgrims would all come up from the southern steps. In fact, on these very steps, the scriptures tell us that Jesus overturned the money changers' tables, telling them, "You have changed my Father's house into a den of thieves." We could also see the walls of Jerusalem, walls which were built in 1560 by Suleiman the Magnificent. And as we climb up with the walls, we go to the furthest point, and on the right-hand side of the furthest point of the walls, we see Zion Gate. Zion Gate is one of 8 gates of the old city, 7 of which are open, and the 8th one, which was shut by the Muslims in the end of the 7th century so as to prevent the entrance of the Messiah. Left of Zion Gate and outside the city walls, we see this gray cone and white tower to its left. This is the Catholic Church of Dormition. Dormition comes from the Latin word dormir, to sleep, and this is the place where, according to tradition, Mary was assumed into eternal sleep, so as to not say died, passed away. Mount Zion is also the place of the room of the Last Supper and the tomb of King David. And if we come down the slope of Mount Zion, we see there's another gray dome church. This is the church of St. Peter in Gallicanti, the place mentioned in Luke 22, verse 54, where Peter denied Jesus for the 3rd time before the crowing of the rooster. We move down there into this valley, the Valley of Kidron, which separates Mount of Olives, where we are, from the Temple Mount or Mount Moriah. At the very bottom of the valley, we see in front of us what looks like remnants of an old wall. This is part of the walls of Jerusalem during the time of the First Temple. 3,000-year-old walls that were built by King David. Onwards, in this valley, we can see over here, there is the tomb of Absalom, son of King David. That's the white cone that is over there. כן.
איפה זה?
שמה.
למטה כאילו?
למטה, בדיוק מאחורי האוטובוס, יש שם
כן,
חרוט
אני רואה,
לבן.
כן.
אוקיי.
אתה צריך אבל ללכת אחורה ואז...
כן, כן.
שנייה.
כשאתה מדבר על הוואלי. זה גם לא נורא אם לא יראו אותך כרגע.
נכון.